Good afternoon from Los Angeles. It's Alyssa Corum and Ken Shreve here with a look at the stock market today. And on today's show, we're taking a look at Apple as well as MongoDB and Coupa Software. We're also getting a few interesting earnings reports out after the close, so we'll have to see if we can get at least a taste of that early action late. But first, let's take a look at the major indexes. The S&P 500 and Dow closed narrowly mixed. We have the NASDAQ losing 0.2% today, but overall, on the downside, the S&P and NASDAQ pretty modest losses.
This was really a quiet, kind of listless, lackluster session, but for the bulls, that's perfectly fine because the S&P 500 is, holding comfortably above the 2,800 level. The NASDAQ is holding gains. The Dow still facing a little bit of resistance, as well as the Russell 2000. But a quiet session, but a lot of big movers again underneath the surface today.
That's right. And taking a look at Apple shares, finishing the day up about 1.1%. Volume was a little light, but we did have an upgrade here from Cowen, initiating with an outperform rating and a price target of $220, and Cowen is bullish on the high margin services business from Apple now that we have iPhone sales slowing.
Yeah, so services is a fast-growing area for Apple. It includes iTunes, Apple Pay, of course, their new video streaming service that they recently announced. That's going to be part of services. So, yeah, Cowen pretty optimistic about the services segment, which is increasingly becoming a bigger piece of the revenue pie for Apple. But again, Apple is still in, it's rallied nicely off lows with the market, but that 200-day moving average right around 190.50, that's a potential resistance level to watch. But stock has been coming back to life along with a lot of other stocks lately.
That's right, but no proper base pattern for Apple as of yet.
No, I mean, this is stock that's just kind of recovering off lows. It is going to work its way higher. Again, we'll see if it can kind of get above that 200-day moving average, because once a stock breaches that 200-day line, tries to rally back above it, it can sometimes be a resistance level. So we'll watch 190.50 as a potential resistance for Apple.
That's right, a key test there for Apple. And MongoDB in the software space jumping 26% today in heavy volume on earnings. Not yet profitable, but yet another quarter of accelerating sales growth, this time up 71% for the quarter.
Yeah, even when a company's not profitable, it does like accelerating sales growth, and that's what's happening at MongoDB. DB stands for database. This is a database software firm. This stock fueled a nice rally in software stocks across the board. Leaderboard has a lot of exposure to the software sector, so we saw a lot of big movers again in the software sector. We've been talking for weeks now how solid the earnings reports have been in the software sector, and MongoDB, the latest company to produce really strong sales growth.
That's right. And elsewhere in the software space, an enterprise name, Coupa Software, a nice move today, up about 5.4% in above average volume here after a breakout from a cup base in January. It had one session where it looked like it was going to go back below the buy point, but it was able to recover most of those losses.
Yeah, we still have a call option for Coupa Software on Leaderboard. This is a stock that we actually took profits before the company reported earnings last Friday. Very volatile session for the stock, but it rallied well off lows when it came down close to its 50-day moving average. But Coupa, one of the best gainers in the market, Smith Growth 250 today, like I said, and just one of many software stocks that outperformed today.
That's right, and a couple of names reporting earnings after the close include Adobe, Broadcom, and Ulta. Looking here at the screens here, Ulta moving late, up about 6% after hours early. We'll have to keep an eye on that and a couple of these other names reporting late.
Yeah, Ulta Beauty was an interesting call option trade. It was pretty close to an alternate handle area, but definitely technically very healthy headed into earnings. So seeing a nice early move for Ulta. We'll see if the gain holds tomorrow morning. But looking at the chart, you can see an alternate handle buy point of 318.88. Stock could gap up powerfully over that buy point in the morning. So we'll see what the open looks like tomorrow.
We will have to see, and the call will be upcoming. You never know. Sometimes the stock can be up big, and then the CEO says something on the call, and things can change. So might be a little too early, but as you said, it's good to be aware of these things, because if this does gap up tomorrow, it's definitely something that should be on your radar.
Yeah. So once an earnings call starts, it usually takes a while for the company to get into their outlook and what the current quarter looks like and what the full year outlook looks like. So at least an initial positive reaction to Ulta's earnings, and we'll see what it looks like in the morning.
Yep, we'll keep an eye on that. Thank you so much for joining us today, everyone. We hope you go to investors.com for more stock news and analysis, and make sure you are following us across social media on Facebook, Instagram, though apparently there was some big outages yesterday.
Big outage, yeah.
Also YouTube and Twitter for the latest. Thanks so much for joining us today, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.